Overall, just from the game, I thought we were right where we wanted to be really until that last 5 minutes and coming out of that timeout. We were up 5, and then it kind of just snowballed from there with turnovers, missed opportunities, and then, offense are giving them old boards for kickouts, and they hit a couple threes off that, and they were just kind of driving it down our throat when we would either turn it over and or miss a shot. So again, we work fourth quarters every single day, and it just made too many mistakes, had too many turnovers. 17 turnovers against them is way too much. And again, we were right where we wanted to be. We always say if we're going into that last battle with the lead, we feel good and just didn't get done tonight. But that doesn't take away from what this senior group has done and what we've done, in our 3 years here, what they've done this year. To be 21-8, 11-7. Yeah, this one hurts. We wanted to get this one. We want an opportunity to, potentially get a 4 seed, but you got to give Michigan credit too. In the last battle, they made plays, they capitalized, they hit shots when they had to. So we'll get better from it. We'll move on and we'll get ready for postseason play. It's a new season, and we just got to continue to learn and improve. But I'm so proud of these guys and super grateful for everything that they've done in their careers. And personally, I was probably the most pissed just because I wanted to win so damn bad for these guys on their senior day. And that's what I'm, again, just upset about. But, again, cannot be more proud of them and always will be. They fight and they do things the right way. So.
All right, questions for our student athletes?
Jen, the turnover, when teams press, what's that do? How does that make you guys uncomfortable? And what do you think maybe the answer can be to alleviate some of that pressure when teams press like that?
I think we just got to do the press break. I think sometimes we kind of just lose our minds a little bit, get a little too frantic, and just start doing things that's not characteristic. So really just doing our press break, because when we did, and a couple times KB got it over the top and was able to capitalize on that side. So just staying poised in those moments and just doing what we know to do.
KB, similar questions. What did you kind of maybe see in the fourth quarter from them to be able to kind of flip the game around in the final 5 minutes there?
I mean, we just gotta, I think, stay more poised, and that's something this season we haven't had to work much on because we've done a pretty good job of it. But we just gotta remember in those close games to stay poised, do what we do, kind of fall back on the basics, the fundamentals, the things we pride ourselves on. And I think it just got a little hectic and we got a little frazzled, which can't happen. But at the end of the day, there's another game ahead of us, and so that's what we're focused on.
Kendall, when you look kind of in totality of what you guys have done here the last 3 years, how do you maybe process everything you've done and doing it with the same group?
I mean, it's definitely it's just weird seeing, such a change in a program. I was here, before Coach Green got here, me and Dow, and I just couldn't have imagined it would be this drastic of a turnaround. I wanted to come here to, start the path to make this program better. And because I saw potential in it, we have the support, we have the resources, we have everything. And, I think Dal and I both kind of had the mindset of we can be a spark in this. But, when Coach Green and her staff and, Jen and Makira and Bryn got here, it was just pouring gasoline on a bonfire. It just went up. And, I feel like we've really been able to kind of lay the foundation and lay everything down for the future. We got a great class of freshmen coming in. We've got freshmen now. We got a great class of sophomores. So I think that, the foundation is laid. And I think, as long as people keep coming in and keep having that mindset of we want to, make this place better, I think the sky's the limit, especially with the philosophy that these coaches have. I mean, it's great. We see it works. When we don't do it, it doesn't work. So I'm really excited to see what, the kids we have now, the kids coming in, what they can do with it.
For both of you, I guess, where have you changed the most since you first got here at Illinois?
I mean, I definitely think just confidence. When I first got here, I think I was averaging 6 points a game and 11 rebounds. Just wasn't shooting it that much, wasn't super confident offensively. And I mean, now I'm able to, step out and shoot threes and all this stuff. So I think just kind of confidence in having a coaching staff that believes in me and constantly tells me that, running plays for me, all that stuff, that just builds confidence over time. And, I would say that for sure.
Yeah, I would say probably leadership. I think when I first got here, I didn't really talk much as far as like on the court and being a vocal leader, but I feel like over these 2 years, especially this year, it kind of forced me to have to do it, and I'm thankful for that because it's not only helping me on the court, but it's also helping me off the court.
Jen, you sort of talking about just the personal growth that you've gone on in these last 3 years you've been here. Just kind of contextualize that as well as just sort of the growth that you've seen as the program and what's that sort of meant to have both of those things come together for you.
Yeah, I think just personally, I mean, I would call this school my second chance because I thought that I was done with basketball. I was ready to quit and give up, and just to it just means a lot to me. But my emotion comes from just knowing where I was before I got here and how defeated I was. I lost all my confidence. I had no hope. I feel like just this program and Coach Green gave me a second chance at basketball, and I'm just grateful for it. I'm thankful for it. And we still have a lot more basketball left this year. I think just the emotion of this day is, I do just want to embrace it because it will be over soon. But I'm just thankful where we're at, and we're going to get better from this game. And I really feel like it's going to push us into postseason play.
On that note, despite the loss, you guys are still entering the Big Ten tournament on an 8-3 run. How is morale, and how are you guys feeling ahead of this postseason push?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're fine. We'll learn from this as we take every opportunity. Every loss, we take it as an opportunity to learn. And we'll, bounce back in the tournament. Tournament plays neutral site. Everyone, anything can happen in March. I mean, I've said it before. People have said it before. I mean, the tournament, rankings and all that stuff don't mean a thing in the world. And we have, a hunger after losing kind of those 3 straight. We have a hunger coming in. I think we feed off of that really well, and I think we play our best when we have that.
Just to follow up on that, Jen said this could maybe fuel you guys. Like, how do you carry this, the sting now, and how do you carry that into the next 2 weeks or however long?
Yeah, I mean, just locking into the stuff. I mean, we, again, have to, break this game down and from a basketball perspective, learn, what cost us the game, what mistakes we made. But I think overall just kind of remembering this feeling and, knowing what we did before. I mean, we had an 8-game win streak. I mean, we're capable of winning games against anybody in this conference. So I think just taking that confidence and, going into postseason play, I mean, knowing, any game could be your last and kind of feeding off of, that energy and that excitement.
I get to ask you about getting a player back. What did Jazz's 28 minutes kind of do for you guys today? And was there a point during the week off where you thought she might be able to gut this out?
I mean, I was so happy to have her back. As you guys know, this season's kind of been riddled with an injury here, injury there. So just having her back and having someone who's played a lot of minutes kind of was really big. It's a confidence thing for us on the court, knowing all right, Jazz is back. And her defense was huge tonight. She made some really, really good plays for us down the stretch. So having her back was good, and I think it kind of settled a lot of people a little bit. So I think we were really happy with her.
And what was it like to watch a program turn in real time? Like, you saw it when it wasn't this. Like, is there a moment that you remember kind of having a second to zoom out and appreciating where it was going?
I think really when we've got our first couple Big Ten wins with Coach Green, just winning those games. I mean, we just hadn't won games. And so being able to kind of see that and be like, okay, we're on a roll, and then, you win another, and it's oh, it's not a fluke. We're actually we're doing this. And I think, that year and getting to the NCAA tournament, even though, we lost in the first, but just getting there for this program was huge. And that was a statement for us. And then, last season winning a postseason championship. There's only 3 teams, in women's basketball that get to end their season on a win, and we were one of them. And so I think just kind of taking in those little moments and, realizing, kind of like Jen said, where you've come from versus where you are now, and being able to look back on that and see how we've been able to shape and change this program has been cool.
I guess sort of playing off of that, but tournament play last season, have the success in the WBT they did. What's maybe the difference between tournament play and what you have in the regular season, and how much can you maybe carry last season into this year?
I think it's just like everything's at stake. You know, during the regular season, you're obviously fighting for rankings, placement, you know, tournament seeds, all that stuff. But you know, postseason play is like, I mean, if you lose, you're done. So I think just kind of having that mindset and that dog mentality for us going in is like, we're capable of beating anyone. You know, we just have to play our basketball and do what we do. But yeah, and even from last season, just taking, we had a mindset flip last season when we were in the WBIT, and that wasn't where we wanted to be. We wanted to be in NCAAs. But I think, you know, all collectively, no one really ever said it, but I think collectively everyone was like, all right, like if we're in it, we're going to win it. Like we're going to show them we deserve to be in there and that we should have played better in some of these games here or there, and we should be in there, and we went out and won it. So I think, and I also think that helps with experience, like in terms of a lot of our, like obviously a lot of us seniors have been in those positions before. But for those younger guys, I think it's great for, you know, some of them that were there at the BIT last year, and it'll be good for some of the new guys this year for going forward. So, you know, Barry, Corey, some of them will have that experience of postseason play, and I think that'll help down the road.
You guys both have spoke about embracing the moment. I just want to get your thoughts just on what Coach Green means to both of you.
I mean, she means a lot to me. I mean, she has, I mean, single-handedly instilled confidence in me as a player. And, you know, I was, you know, after Michigan State and part of my first year here, I was just kind of, you know, I'm like, all right, if I'm going to be, you know, just a rebounder and a defender, like I'm okay with that, but I'm going to, you know, enjoy my time here. And they were like, no, you're going to score for us too. And I, you know, Coach Kat, Coach Ryan, Coach Matt, Coach Britt, Liza, Jenna, Emily, like all of them have instilled confidence in me and helped me in some way or another. But, I mean, a lot of thanks to Coach Kat and Coach Ryan. I mean, Coach Ryan really helped, you know, develop that inside game, and Coach Kat, you know, helped me develop kind of more of my perimeter skills, and Coach Green's drawn up plays for, you know, me to get threes and me to post up. So just having that, I mean, I don't think you see that a lot everywhere where a coach has so much confidence in her players. And I mean, I really don't think she's ever told us not to shoot, and you don't really see that anywhere either. So it's been really cool to be under her leadership and just kind of get to experience, you know, her system and everything she does for us.
Yeah, everything that KB said, but I would just say you don't really see a head coach the way that she coaches. Like, she don't just coach us as players, but as people, and she genuinely cares about our lives and what life is after college, and it's just a great role model. She's a great leader. I mean, I go on and on about what Coach Green has meant to me. Just personally, like I said, I came into the portal averaging 2 points in 5 minutes. Like, most people, you're just lucky if a school wants you, but the fact that Coach Green just instilled so much confidence in me. Even when I got here, I wasn't my same person that I was in high school. Like I said, I lost all confidence even in my basketball skills, but she worked with me. She talked with me. She was patient with me. And, I mean, even come back from my 5th year, it was a no-brainer I was going to come back just because of the loyalty that she gave me when I was in the portal. And now it was an honor to be able to give that loyalty back to her. And like I said, I'm enjoying the moment. I don't want to get to, I'm really not an emotional person. I know I have been crying a lot recently, but I'm not an emotional person. But I'm just thankful for this opportunity and this place. And yeah, Coach Green means the world to me.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
See you guys. Good job.
Thanks, Coach.
No, I'm good.
All right, go ahead and raise your hand and what's your like for questions for Coach Green.
I guess, Shauna, before we get into like the big picture stuff, the press, is there anything you're seeing when teams really ramp it up on you that's giving you guys a little bit of struggle?
We worked on it all week, and we got to run our press break. We don't run it. We just abandon it. And you got to want the ball. You got to be confident and want the ball. When we ran it, like they said, we got KB over the top. You got to have confidence. I mean, and then we broke it, and then we dribble over half court, and we pick our dribble up. That's not what we work on. It's not like it's confidence. It's ball confidence. You know, if you dribble it over half court, they're going to trap you, right? And then we're small. So when you add all that in, we got to be more disciplined in it. We literally worked it all week, and they don't even press that much, but when they pressed late, they got to turn over, a couple of those times that were big. And then when we broke it, we got good things coming. So, we just we gotta be more disciplined, and we got to be more confident.
I wanted to ask you about Jazz just coming back. I almost want to ask you about if there was any sort of restriction or anything you felt was going to limit her, but with the rotation you played, you're either kind of playing or you're not at that point.
Yeah.
Is it right?
Yeah, there was no limit. She felt good. And I thought she did a really good job defensively and hit a couple big threes. I know she missed a couple of those layups, but I was really happy with how she played overall for not practicing. We progressed her. She had one day yesterday of full court. So we progressed her, and I thought she played, overall really well and was moving really well and defended. Against them, they're small, so we went smaller more than normal because they play 5 guards. And I thought that helped having her back defensively. It's just she also hadn't practiced in a while, so she hit the threes and missed a couple layups. You got to kind of give and take with that.
For those players who followed you from Dayton, what was it like, sort of the emotions in the senior day ceremony at the end?
Yeah, I mean, all of them, is the same. I'm like Jen, I'm not that emotional of a person, but I was crying like a little baby for when they were walking out there. They're all special. They're all really, really special to me, to the program. I've known all of them at different lengths of time. Obviously Makaira and Bryn, having recruited them to Dayton, and then having them follow me and again, I'm just forever grateful for their loyalty. They didn't have to come here. Like, the program was not in a good condition, but they believed in people. They believed in a vision, and that's why I think this is a special group, because a lot of things right now, people make decisions for other reasons. These guys have always made decisions and choices for the right reasons, and they're just really good human beings. They all individually hold, a special place in my heart now and forever.
Just when I'm trying to think.
Okay, Joe. That's how I feel right now too.
When Josh comes to you 3 years ago and asked you to take the job, and that conversation that you had with him to be where you are now 3 years later, just what sort of that journey been like for you, and to see this player group kind of go along with that journey with you as well?
Yeah, I think that's why, it probably is so emotional, and because you look at them out there and you look at kind of all their different paths and all their different stories, and obviously, taking this job, knowing we had a lot of work to do, and they again had only won, like I asked them in the locker room how many games they had won the year before we got here. KB thought like 3 or something. I don't even know. But I'm like, okay, 9. Well, KB, it probably felt like 3. Big 10, that's what she thought. Yeah. Anyways, so in that first year, I knew it was going to be a process, but we believed, and I knew that we could get it done here. I knew that we had the leadership, the administration, the resources, the facility, the community. So we really believed. Obviously, I would have taken it, but. I mean, again, I told you at the end of the first year, if you had told me we made the NCAA tournament that year, I probably thought you were crazy. And then last year, high expectations, had a couple bad losses, and then got it all together and played really well at the end and won that championship, the first one ever, postseason. And now this year, obviously played really well in the non-conference, and then get hit by injury, all this stuff happens. And now to, again, be able to win 21 games and 11 in the big. I mean, I keep saying the same words, but I can't even, I don't even have the right words to articulate what they've done, this team, all of them, the seniors obviously, but just every year to be able to do what we've done in 3 years. Credit goes to our players, credit goes to our staff. this is not, we can't do any of this without our staff. We have the best staff in the country. And so I'm just very proud and grateful for each and every one that's kind of made their mark, along the way. But I think we're in a really good position, and we just got to continue now to carry it on into postseason and obviously into the coming years.
Not the result you guys might have wanted, missing out on that double bye, but still getting that single bye and getting some extra time off. What does that mean for you guys and all the players that have been logging a lot of minutes lately?
Yeah, we got some good rest this week, and it is what it is at this point. Like I said, you got to find a way. You got to be mentally tough to fight through fatigue because everyone's tired, and we've played 5 or 6 really all year, so it's nothing new. And so we just got to continue to fight and be strong with that. But yeah, it's to even be and I've said to you guys, to even be in the conversation where we had an opportunity going into the final game to finish in the top 4, behind UCLA, USC, who are both top 5 teams and have a chance to win a national championship, and then Ohio State, who's a top 10 team. We're right in that group of all those programs. And obviously had this game and had this and then just kind of crumbled at the end. But, we're only going to get 2 days, 1 day off tomorrow, and we're back at it. So there's really no rest. They can rest when season's done, then we'll rest.
Coach, you always talk about the team being you talk about the team being connected, and also you talk about this being a special group. Just wanted to get your assessment of just how you guys got here.
Man, I don't even know. There's some days that I don't know where we're going to get, and I think that's what makes it now so special when you do these things and when you look back on this team because of kind of the road we've taken. And again, how many times you get to have the same kind of core group for 3 years to be able to go through a lot of those things. You just don't see it nowadays. And I don't know if you'll ever see it a lot. I hope we can continue to keep our same, roster and continue to build the culture. Because like I told our team, and it's what we did really at Dayton, it's you graduate people, but you're sustained success because it's just the culture, the expectation. It's just what you do. And that's where this senior group, and when I talk about legacy, well, you leave your legacy by passing on the standards and the culture and what it's about, and you expect to win. That was the biggest thing when we got here. They had never won. They didn't even, they never, like KB said, okay, we win a couple games. Now it's different. Now you expect to win. That's a standard. It's what we do. So I think that's the greatest thing that this group has done, that they can continue to pass down that legacy, the standards of, hey, we're here. This isn't just, okay, let's be happy we win a game. No, we want to win every single game that we go out there and sustain success in building a program. Again, like some of the ones I mentioned, even a Michigan. Michigan's meant to how many straight NCAA tournaments? It's I know. I mean, Kim goes there every year. It's sustained success, and we're still trying to build that.
Just, flipping the switch between regular season play and tournament play, what's sort of the differences there? And like I asked the players, and maybe how can that run last year, the WBT, help you guys this year?
Yeah, I think that last year, I'm going to talk to them about it, and I think they're going to just know it is anything can happen. And once you get going, it's all about confidence, about playing well. And once you get that, you could just, last year, you felt it build every game. And then they also know what they did internally as a team, where they were just they had the mindset, we're just not losing. And you could see it in how we played. And that's why it's so much fun to coach them during that stretch. So we're definitely going to take that experience and talk about it and carry it over. That's why you see a lot of teams that win a WNIT, championship the following year. They're, usually they're always in the NCAA tournament, and some of them had made some runs because of that. So that's great, experience and valuable to us. So we're gonna take that. And also, to answer the first part of it, what's different about postseason is, and especially for a group of seniors, every game could be your last game when you get into the NCAA tournament. And when you play with that fire and determination that you don't want it to be done, you can do some special things.
So I'm curious early on if there was anything that you knew that maybe this group in particular could be the one that kind of was an immediate catalyst to a rebuild. Is there a practice or a game or a moment from those first couple of years that you remember thinking that this, whatever the formula was with these guys, they had it?
That first couple weeks of practice, I didn't think we'd win a game, so I know it wasn't that. I mean, if I could go back and like watch video, if we had video in State Farm Center because we were still over there, some of those first practices, I mean, like Jen talked about, she was a shell of herself, no confidence. I remember like I'm just trying to get her to not make, behind the back passes and just do this simple thing. And, I mean, if you could have probably been in some of those practices or listened to some of our like staff meetings, I mean, it was this group, they've come so far. Even when I watched some film from last year's, when I'm watching and preparing for this year, I'm like, man, we've come so far, right? So it's just been really cool to see their development. And again, that's what's special when you can keep a group together because you kind of go through all that. But I don't know if there was necessarily one practice or one, I kind of go back to that first year, the Iowa game for me. It's just when, we just beat, I think they were top 15 at the time. We had beaten like Rutgers and someone else in the league. But when we beat them, I think that was kind of the aha moment. Like, man, we can do this. So I always go back to that as kind of being that turning point.
Coach, what's a mindset or a motto, maybe goal that you've had set with your team heading into the off season?
Last off season?
This upcoming off season, sorry.
Oh, I'm not even thinking about that yet. I don't. I'm trying to enjoy every moment right now with this group because again, even today, it sucks to try to do senior day after when you lose. It's great. I've done them, I've done it on wins. I've done it on losses. But I really just took myself out of even the game and just was present at this group and how special they are. And that was my goal coming in this year was to really enjoy the journey. I preach it all the time, but sometimes I got to listen to and practice what I preach. And I've just really, like the kids are saying, we're trying to just enjoy it, be present, and we'll worry about the off season, when that comes. So it's going to be different. We're going to look different. I can tell you that much, but there's some excitement in that too.
To dovetail off of Joey's question, did you learn anything this year about, we hear coaches all the time in your sport talk about get old, stay old. Did you learn anything about coaching 22 and 23-year-olds this year about how it's different than what you've ever had? I know you had veterans at Dayton, but...
Yeah, and we did. That was one thing. But I also think that's why we had sustained success there because then there wasn't as the portal. So we would get kids and we would keep them in our program and develop them. And then they would be that next group, the group graduates and then that next group fills in, maybe plug in a transfer, but they'd have to sit out there. So it's a little bit different time now. But I do believe in experience and I believe in again, keeping a group together. So we're going to be really young next year, right? We're going to have a lot of true freshmen, very talented, but they haven't been through stuff together. Like they haven't been through the hard times. And that's where you build that unity and together. Like we were built to sustain this year in our adversity because of last year and the year before. I don't think we sustained that first year. You got to go through hard times together to be able to get through hard times. And so next year will be different, but that's also why we have some experience coming back. We're going to have to address some things with the portal from that too. So yes, I learned I like experience. A long-winded answer to yes, I want to stay old, but some of that has to, like Michigan, they kind of got that. They got 3 studs as freshmen and then a couple old guys that just know what to do. So we'll kind of go both ways with that.
I think it was Camille at the end of last year in Indianapolis that said not a lot of teams make it to April, let alone March. I guess is that the same mindset this year, and what's key to keeping that mindset up?
Yeah, I mean, only what 4 make it in the NCAA tournament. Only 4 make it to the Final Four in April, and then obviously in the WBIT. So it's special to play that long, and it was special and it was fun. It was a great ride last year, and my goal always has been every team I've coached, whether I was an assistant or a head coach, is to get out of that first weekend. But I also know anything can happen and a run can happen. I know I've talked about as an assistant our run at Dayton to the Elite Eight. Like it's just all about, our run last year to a championship. It's all about finding confidence and just playing your best basketball at the right time. And it's kind of a fresh start. You get into postseason and really it's everyone's 0-0 and nothing matters and you just go out there and you fight. And it's all about matchups at the end of the day. And some of that you get lucky with, and does that team match up with you? It's all matchups when you get in the NCAA tournament. Okay, thank you, and thank you guys for your continued support throughout the year and helping us continue to build women's basketball here. I appreciate you guys.